How you doing, guys? Today we're not physically working on the Senior, but I just wanted to get this information that I'm about to say that I've learned over the last 3 or 4 months, number one. Number two, document exactly what's going into my Senior itself. And hopefully this video will help someone in the future if they run into a problem with their Senior and the clutch. Now, let me just start off by saying the information that I'm going to provide is specific to my Senior. Keep in mind that the pond dudes, if you want to call it, Elmer and Cecil, they're building these things basically in a garage. They also basically back-halved an early Ford from the transmission back-halved an early Ford, a car or a truck, in order to put these tractors together. So, with that being said, there might be some little nuances here and there where my tractor calls for this, but your tractor may not. And then there's some really weird sizings here that I've learned too, which I'm going to go over in 1 second. But the general, I guess, schematics of the clutch disc, okay, is a little bit out of the ordinary from what I found. So it's an 8.5-inch clutch disc with an 1 3/8 10-spline hub. And what I learned trying to find one of these clutches is that most clutches with a 1 3/8-inch spline, 10-spline hub are 9-inch clutch discs or larger. Most of the 8.5-inch clutch discs that I could find, eBay, Amazon, Google searching, and in this case, in 1 second, a Raybestos clutch, when they're 8.5 inches, they're either an 1 1/8 10-spline or 15/16 10-spline. So, and that's in the 8.5-inch disc family. Now, this is the original clutch disc that came out of my Senior. It is pretty glazed over. It's got good meat on it, but it's pretty glazed over and it's been covered in oil and grease. So I wanted to replace this. So I hunted and hunted around. This is, like I said, this is a Raybestos. There's a bunch of numbers on it that you can just barely make out. So I couldn't find a Raybestos clutch. Because I don't even think they make clutch discs anymore, to be honest with you. I even called Raybestos, and they were like, yeah, right, sure. So they were of no help, and I don't mean that in a negative way. They just didn't, nobody knows. So that started to lead me on a quest to try to find a clutch disc that would work. So let me change the camera angle and show you what I have here on the workbench. Let's take a look at the original parts from my Senior. We got the flywheel, pressure plate, and the clutch disc. Now, the reason why you can't run a 9-inch clutch on this is because the pressure plate is 8.5 inches. Oops, let's use is 8.5 inches, just about straight up. Let's just find, there it is. Just about 8.5 inches. Then there's no way you're going to be running a 9-inch clutch on this pressure plate. And when we take a look at the flywheel, we're definitely not going to be able to get a 9-inch clutch disc on there. So that's where I was starting to run into a problem. I got to find an 8.5-inch clutch with a 1 3/8-inch 10-spline hub. So at first I was kind of, well, what am I, well, like I said, I called Raybestos. They were of no help. I took the numbers, and you can kind of see the numbers right here. I took all of these numbers and tried to find this clutch disc online, even an old one used for whatever reason. Could never find one. So what I ended up doing, this was my first go around, was to buy an 8.5-inch clutch with the 15/16 center, okay? Cut the rivets and then machine it and drill it so I could take this hub out of this original clutch and put it in that clutch disc, basically making what I had here. And then, I don't know, I just didn't want to go with that. So that put me on a quest to try to find a clutch disc that would work. Ultimately, I bought a couple clutch discs. They didn't work. One got destroyed in transit. It was turning out to be a colossal pain in the back end. So I kind of quit the search and I said to myself, well, I need to find an alignment tool. So this one I got off of Evil Bay. This is a 1 3/8 inch alignment tool, 10 spline. It is for a Model A Ford, essentially, from 1928 through 1948. And this fits my clutch perfectly. This end is a little bit smaller than what I need, so I'll have to put maybe a ring of tape on it, so that way when I slip it into the back of the crankshaft, it'll work. So I had this. I started to clean this thing up. I'm going to reuse it. And I was like, no, I really want to find a new clutch disc. So that led me to this one right here. You can see I have my little storyboard right here so I don't miss anything. What this is this is a 8.5-inch clutch, 1 3/8 10 spline hub. And what it's for, this specific, it took me a while to cross-reference and everything, but what this is for is a John Deere, I guess Model L or Model LA tractor, okay? Right here, or maybe right here, wherever, I'm going to put the part numbers and the specs of this clutch disc. If we take this alignment tool out, we put the alignment tool in. Actually, let me just do that real quick. Boom, there you go. So this is exactly what I need. There's only one small difference. If I measure the material here from side to side, whoops, let's do it this way so you can see it a little better. Okay, it is 1 3/8, 1 3/8 thick. If we take this new disc here and I'm doing it this way because the box is in the way, we have 1 1/4. So we got like 1/8 of an inch thinner material on this outer edge compared to the original. So that is quick interjection here, just so if this was a thought of yours, the thickness of this disc, of the original disc, is 5/16. Edge to edge. The replacement John Deere is 3/8. So this is going to have enough clamping power, or there's going to be enough clamping on this to make this clutch work. What I am going to go with, I'm going to run this one. I'll keep the original. This one here, I guess, I don't know. I didn't pay much for this. I think I paid $35 for this one plus shipping. It was like $42 for this one. This one here was double in price, okay, but I did get it off of Amazon. There's a couple of these I found on eBay, brand new, but I decided to get it off of Amazon because they had the 30-day free return if it wasn't going to work. And make it just easier. I just take it down to my local Kohl's and throw it at them, and then I get my money back. So there you go, guys. That is the story on a clutch disc for a 1955 Wheelhorse Senior. So, in essence, going to finish resurfacing the flywheel, going to surface the pressure plates, just break the glaze on it, and then I'm going to put a brand new clutch disc in my Senior. So, essentially, when I get done, the entire driveline will be replaced. any of the major, like this guy's in really good shape. I mean, it's perfect. It's near perfect. I mean, everything's in really, really good shape. The springs, the surfaces, just, oh, there's a big chunk of grease or crap on it. But outside of that, there it is. All right. With that being said, let me see if there's anything else. All right, I'll be right back. There you go, guys. That is the 1955 Wheel Horse Senior clutch system. As you can tell, not a lot of parts, but I hopefully provided you with some valuable information. So if you want to replace yours or work on yours, and you have the 8.5-inch clutch with the 1 3/8 10 spline hub, this John Deere clutch disc will work and is gonna go in gonna go into my my Senior. I am definitely going to use this clutch disc. And the Model A Ford from 1928 to 1948 alignment tool. I'm going to keep the original clutch and, you know, a couple of the, you know, I'm saving a few of the original parts that I replaced. But in that case, that's it. All right. Hopefully you found it interesting. I know it's kind of dry, but I think it's, in my opinion, good documentation going forward. All right, guys, thank you very much for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe. And if you're planning on tearing into your Senior, or tearing into any other tractor for that matter, please leave a comment below. I really appreciate everything. All right, guys, until then, have a great day.